cheering on the Boks tomorrow because you're still alive in the Rugby Championship, so you're sort of supporting them over the All Blacks?
Unfortunately, it's before us, so I'll just give you the token. I'll be thinking about our game. I tell you, it's been a cool dynamic. I know when we were playing last week, I could see some All Black kit come out onto the field, and 20 minutes to go, they start watching the game. When they turn up at the Oval, I'm sure it'll be the same for us tomorrow night. You're trying to get in the zone of playing a game, and you rock up to the field, and there's this occasion, the 100th test match between these two teams going at it. So, I definitely have my eyes on it, within reason.
Is the silverware, it's probably not front of mind, but is a little bit of a motivation, the fact that you still are a chance to claim the Rugby Championship?
Like everything. I think the direction we want to go as a team is we know that, we want to be winning trophies and put that out there as our goal, and that's what we want to do. But we've got to take a few steps back and control what we can control in the meantime. So death riding a team's not going to make us perform any better. We really do have to focus on what the little things. If you break it all the way down to our individual roles, so then what the team's going to produce, and then the other stuff can hopefully fall into place. But no, we want to win trophies as a team, but we got to be focused on what we can control.
Has there been any revisiting of history, just in terms of Argentina seem to be a bit of a tricky proposition for the Wallabies every time you guys meet? They pull you into a grind and you just get over the line, or they surprise you. The 2 draws last year, a couple of losses in recent time. Do you sort of look back at that just to not get complacent and not sort of rest on your laurels?
Any test match can go either way, and that's I think it's great about the the current state of rugby in the world is it's game on every time. So just because we've had two results and an improved result from one week to the next, that's our focus. To improve again on that, which we think we can do. Like I mentioned before, Argentina pose very different threats, but no less dangerous. When they're on, they are a hard team. And we saw that last year. We got out to a bit of a comfortable lead in Newcastle, and they pulled us back, and then it was vice versa. We managed to just get a draw over the line there in Parramatta last year. So, yeah, I think in the games they've played, even though the score may not suggest it, they made the All Blacks work. They made it difficult for them at times, and we've got to be on our game tomorrow.
As skipper, Hoops, you've managed a lot of players and played with a lot of different players. I've asked a lot about this week the depth that the Wallabies have at the moment. What do you make of the youth coming through and the development of them moving forward 2 years out from the World Cup?
Yeah, extremely promising. The youth of the group brings a lot of energy. They're hungry to get on the park. That's only amplified when there's some good results there as well. So people are dying to get on the field at the moment, and that's like I said, is a good problem to have as a team. Look, it's what any coach would want, is the fact that you'd be comfortable with 2 different teams running out, and you can you have 2 10s or 2 7s, for example, but if you change or rotate one of them, the job's going to get done, and that's what we need to grow as a team, and we're still on that path. Being that the team first and Wallaby Rugby, how we want to play Wallaby Rugby is a key importance, and then within our players, how we manage that under theirs is crucial for us going forward.
Do you feel like in the last 2 games then with Quade back, has he been that extra key to finding that success with the young group coming through?
Yeah, look, I think Quade's certainly been great in terms of his leadership around the on-field control of a game. I think what's been noticeable there is it's time in the saddle. So often I think as a 10, all these guys have skill, but just it's a time thing. He's watched a lot of tape. You can imagine the hours of tape he's watched compared to a 2nd or 3rd year 10, or the time of he's been on the park as opposed to that again. So time in the saddle is huge, and experience in that role. When you're going into a game, you're just confirming it on the weekend as opposed to trying to work it out on the spot. So that's what he's really brought, and then he's also imparting that on some of the other guys as well, which has been super valuable. And that idea of handing down a bit of something else is great in the team at the moment.
Online, guys?
Yeah, Hoops. I just want to ask about Quade. When he first came into the team a few weeks ago, I was a bit like, oh wow, he's back. But now it's just rolling on week after week. He's in the squad. Do you see him playing well enough, and is he in good enough nick to think that he is a viable sort of long-term option at 10, looking ahead? I know you don't like looking forward more than a week, but sort of looking ahead to next year and to 23.
I'm sure Dave will be picking the best possible players whenever that time comes. So right now he's doing that. He's picking a team that's suitable for Argentina. In a few weeks it's going to be England or Japan, and then in 2 years' time it's going to be the same. We're going to have to cut a squad down to 31, which I've just mentioned that there's a lot of competition in a lot of different positions. So picking a 31 out of that's going to be really tricky, and he'll be picking a team that he thinks can win a Bledisloe next year or win a World Cup the year after that. So no, not getting too far ahead.
It's coming up against Argentina, so as you said, the scoreline might not reflect how they've been playing, but you're expecting to come out with a lot of passion after 4 straight losses. Do you think that makes them a more sort of, given how highly they play on passion, does that make them a more dangerous side heading into this game than potentially other contests?
Oh, they're capable of some exciting rugby. The Pumas, their ability to move the ball. They've got some top athletes in their team. They're great over the ball as well in terms of turnover. The hooker's outstanding in that area, so they can get the ball back and they can hurt you if you're sloppy. I think if our discipline's poor tomorrow, like it was at times last year, they go 3-6-9 on the scoreboard pretty easy, and then all of a sudden you're chasing a game. So yeah, we're fully aware that these guys are coming up here to win.
Michael, wondering if you could just tell us the difference in preparations after 2 losses compared to what it's been like in this last week after 2 wins. What sort of different feeling, different confidence levels are there in the squad?
Yeah, certainly confidence is higher, and also belief within our game plan and what we're trying to execute is greater as well. The pitfalls of that are, not sticking to that and moving away from something that, a game plan that we're trying to develop. So, that's been the focus of this week, I guess. Off 2 losses, you're trying to find that solution. Then you get that solution, then it's about, okay, how can you grow that and being comfortable with working on the little things and keeping nutting down the stuff that has worked well, and not looking for miracle passes or anything, but building a score, and that's what Test match rugby's about, and what we have to be true to, the fact that it is a 80-minute performance. We spoke so much earlier in the year about only delivering 40, 50 minutes, and then 15 minutes just giving New Zealand way too much and just getting too hurt in that time. So building a performance is something that we need to keep working at and keep growing at.
What about the conditions tomorrow night? You mentioned the weather's been pretty great up there. What sort of impact is that going to have on your game plan with a bit of humidity around?
It's both teams. I don't think it's going to be too bad. Like at night, it has been cooling down a bit. We've got the 8 o'clock game, so I'd imagine by that time it's 18, 19 degrees, so probably pretty nice weather for footy. The deck's really quick. Like it's going to be fast tomorrow night, which we want to be playing ball in play and get it moving around a bit. So there may be a few more scrums or set pieces because of maybe a wet ball. Hopefully it just stays off the big boys' chests and they don't drench the thing. So it'll be a good one. Like these guys can play some really great footy and expansive footy at times. So you've got to nullify that.
Dave's been really glowing in the last week or so of Pete Samu's impact from the bench. What are you seeing on the field, and what's he changed in this last year or so that's brought this impact with him?
Well, I don't know if something's changed in the last year or so. I think the guy has it. He has the ability to change a game. He's an all-round player. Over the ball presence, tackle presence. What we've seen in the last couple of weeks is his ball carry ability, his change of pace. So, what you want out of a finisher is the ability to change the pace of a game and you know, it's not necessarily coming up with a massive play, but it's certainly upping our energy, or the guys who've been on the park, or I mean, he has had some influential plays, which is also great, but changing the tempo of a game. And Pete's been outstanding in that space in the last couple of weeks, and you know, really vital part of the team because he can cover a couple of positions as well in that back row, or all of the back row, which is really helpful.
Oops, over the last couple of years, you guys had struggled to string sort of 3-4 wins together. Did you put that down to, I suppose, strength of opposition? Obviously, playing top teams in the world doesn't make that any easier, or is it an internal thing, like sort of not nailing your prep or executional? What do you put that down to over the last sort of post-World Cup years?
Good question. I mean, we haven't thought about that too much because that's in years gone by. What we've talked about is what the stuff we can control, and that's moving, you know, staying in each day to day, you know, and growing our game, growing what Wallaby rugby can look like, the way we want to play it. You know, I think that's the key for us, and that, you know, is what we're sort of hanging our hat on in terms of maybe changing that, what that history looks like there a bit. But, you know, we're not looking too far in the past or anything like that. And I think that's a good way to be, hey, just to be thinking about what we can control and, you know, what we want to do at the park there tomorrow.
Anything else, guys?
Yeah, Hoops, have you felt the change in expectation this week, coming off 2 wins and all of a sudden the jump from, you know, 7th to 3rd in the rankings the last few weeks? There's a different feel around the Wallabies now. Are you guys feeling that?
Oh, I'm sure our guys felt it after the game. I mean, probably fair to say most of the guys' phones were blowing up, but you know, that wasn't the case 2 weeks ago, and we can't forget that. So balancing it, you know, we have high expectations of what we want to do, and where we think we can get to, and that's the most important thing for us. You know, we've got to look at ourselves in the mirror and look at the game we want to play, and try and get better at each day and each game. And you know, we've had two decent games, you know, and we want to continue that. We don't want to go back, you know, and not perform how we want to perform. And you know, we know now that the Arch is going to be flying into us tomorrow. So how we manage that, and then you know, control what our game plan looks like is important.